Did you catch it? Yeah, that's me. And this is my story. It all started... No, I'm just kidding, I didn't win anything. And I sure as hell would not dox myself over this video, although I did compete at ISEF 2025. And it's the reason I didn't upload for 6 months? Jesus Christ. But I have a good reason for it, okay? So, you see, well, most people start their science fair projects around October, November, maybe even like now, if you're a tryhard. I like to procrastinate. So, you know, by the time January came around, I was like, oh crap, I gotta make a science fair project in a month. So, you know, I was busy in January and I didn't really have time to make any videos. I figured science fair was early February. I could just, you know, compete, maybe get second place and like $75 and call it a day and get back to YouTube, right? I did not expect to win first place overall in my regional fair. That was not something I had even considered a possibility. I mean, I've always sucked at science fair. I mean, the best I've ever gotten was second place, and that was in 5th grade. So this was a little bit shock to me, you know. I did my project on quantum computing, which is a topic I was super interested in at the time. I mean, I even made a video about it, if you remember. And I wouldn't say my project was very good, necessarily, but compared to the other stuff that was at regionals, I think it deserved to win. Basically what I did was I just ran different circuits and tested for the levels of decoherence on IBM's quantum computing models. It wasn't a very complicated project, but it was enough to win at my regional fair. I mean, the projects there were not anything great. My main competitor's project was an attempt at making a penny spin by aligning some wires and a battery. Surprise! The penny did not spin. Which is what they were expecting to happen. That was their hypothesis, was that it would not spin. Shocker, it did not spin. Anyways, after what was arguably one of the most exhilarating nights of my life, they only gave me 10 days to sign up for the biggest event I would ever go to. No big deal. Yeah, 10 days to make a video, to make a new slideshow, to make a poster, to make all kinds of new stuff. And like I said, I like to procrastinate, so I only had 1 day to do all that, and I was sick for it. But I got it all done, and now I just had to wait until May 5th, about. I don't know, I don't feel like looking it up, but I think it was about May 5th. So I drove 4 hours to the nearest airport because I live in the middle of nowhere, and I was off to Columbus, Ohio. When I got to Columbus, I did nothing because it's Columbus, Ohio. But we did check out the North Market that night, which is a giant warehouse filled with like 20 local restaurants. They had everything from sushi to barbecue to Turkish, Polish. God, they even had like meat crepes. It was a crazy place, but the food was so good there, man. We ate there almost every night. I mean, it was just delicious. There was so many different things. That was probably my favorite part about the trip, to be honest. Was the friggin' North Market food place. I mean, really the only other thing we did before the actual science fair judging part was panels. Now, they had all kinds of panels. They had smaller panels that were presented by people who worked on the board of science fair that were about how to make a good science fair project. They were usually super boring, but also very helpful towards the actual judging process. There were panels with like famous people that I didn't know a single one of, but they were supposedly Nobel Prize winners and famous entrepreneurs or something. I thought the Nobel Prize winners one was kind of cool, but I don't really care about people who just turn their science fair project into a for-profit business. I feel like it kind of goes against the entire point of science fair. And then there was a panel with the founder of Midjourney AI that only had like 10 people show up to. It was a surreal experience. Especially because, I mean, nobody showed up, so I was in the front row, just sitting there right next to David Holz as he talked about making an AI.
Navigated by the stars, and then I saw, the first nuclear bombs dropped, and then all of a sudden airplanes didn't have propellers anymore, they all had jet engines, and then we're sending things into space, and people are walking on the moon, and now I'm like hacking my satellite internet, like from the top of my roof with a dish on a computer. What even is a computer?
Well said, David. And now, for the moment you've all been waiting for. The judge.
8 hours later.
Yeah, that went terrible. It turns out that in the 2 months I had spent since my regional fair, I had forgotten almost everything about my project. So, yeah, I didn't have any answers to any of their questions. Probably wouldn't have during regionals, but I definitely didn't now. So, of course I didn't win anything, and I wasn't really expecting to win anything, so at least it wasn't that big of a disappointment. Oh yeah, we also went to COSI. It was a science museum. That was a whole thing. I won't get into that. You can just go to Columbus, book a flight to Columbus, go check it out yourself if you want to. Before I wrap up this video, I want to give a quick shout out to some of the people I met at Science Fair. Now, I don't have pictures of any of these people, because 1, that would be doxing, and 2, that would be super creepy and weird. So instead I will be having AI recreate my descriptions of these individuals. And if you know one of them, please reach out. Weird Finnish kid that was way too into puzzles. What's up, man? Haven't talked in a while. You also did a project in quantum computing, I saw. So that was cool. A girl with glasses from North Carolina that did the plant thing. You should catch up sometime. Asian kid. What's up, bro? Man, what a wild ride it's been, huh? 100 videos. That's crazy. Even though 2/3 of them are shorts and the other 20 are all my periodic table videos. I really only actually have like 10 videos, if you don't count the ones under 61 seconds. Maybe I'll make a part 2 when I reach 100 real videos. Just a friendly reminder that the hatchet warning from earlier still stands. And remember, kids,
science rules.